Hello guys, welcome to Dreamframer Photography. In today's video I'm going to review Luminar 2018. Luminar 2018 is a photo editing application created by Skylum software. Skylum software contacted me recently asking if I can review Photolimmer 2.3 and Luminar 2018. They also told me to be honest and to say what I really think about the software, which is really cool. I tried both Photolimmer and Luminar and I'm very happy to recommend them to you. In the previous video I talked about Photolimmer, and in this video we're just gonna do a quick overview of what Luminar can do in just a couple of minutes. At the end of the video, just like in the previous one, I'm gonna mention a couple of things that I think could be improved in the next version. What I love about both these apps is that you don't have to pay monthly subscription to use them. You pay them once and you own them. Also, if Lightroom and Photoshop are too complicated for you or you simply don't have enough time to learn them, Luminar is the best choice. Luminar is something between Lightroom and Photoshop, but it also contains filters that neither Lightroom nor Photoshop contain. Now let's open a couple of images in Luminar and edit them. In the end, I will provide you with my affiliate link where you can download the free trial of the software. If you like it, you can also buy it. Because you're using my affiliate link, you will have a discount. When you open Luminar 2018, this is the screen you will see. I will open one of the two images that I prepared for you so I could explain the interface. Let's try this image first. It's a Nikon RAW image, so NEF format. And as you can see, the image is pretty simple. It was sunset, nothing spectacular, right? So while this image is open, let me explain the interface a bit. I would say that you have four sections on the screen. The top section with the main menu, zoom tool, your before and after buttons, undo, history, and a button where you can open four tools. You have the main part of the interface where you have your image, and then on the bottom you have some presets. Presets are built in Luminar, but you can also download more. If you click on this button that says categories, you will find different categories for presets. If you are a preset person, you will find out that these are very useful. From here I can just click any of the presets, and filters that are used in that preset will be lined up right here in the right section of the screen. So what if I want to add my own filters? If I don't want to use any of the presets, I can click this button and add a filter. Clicking this button will list all the filters that Luminar has. And they're grouped into logical groups: essential, issue fixers, creative, professional, and utility filters. So let me do a quick edit of this image, and after that I will go back and explain to you step by step what I did. The first filter that I want to apply is Raw Develop. Let me just do this quickly so you can see what can be done in just a couple of minutes with Luminar. Right now I'm fixing the exposure. Then let me add some more saturation and vibrance. Okay, that's gonna be enough. Now let's add a bit more of the local contrast. There is a very nice filter called Microstructure. Look at the sky now. Okay. Now let me add a little bit of Luminar's magic, which is called Accent AI filter. This is the filter that is based on artificial intelligence. Okay, that's gonna be okay. Let's bring it a bit like back a little bit, and Now I'm thinking maybe I should play a little bit more and add some sun rays, right? So let me just move this center to our sun in the image. And let's make it less bright, actually a bit warmer and less bright. The radius can go back. The warmth. So you see, it took me how long? 2 minutes? I'm not sure. Let's see the image before. This is before and this is after. What a difference, right? So let me explain to you what I actually did. I will switch off the visibility for all these filters first. To do that, I just have to click on this eyeball icon on the right side of each filter. Raw develop cannot be turned off. That's the basic filter. If you're opening the image that is in RAW format, the filter will be called raw develop, but if you are opening JPEG image, it will be called only develop. So if you use Adobe Lightroom or Adobe Camera Raw, this panel here will look very familiar to you. It's the same set of sliders. What I did, I just brought highlights down so I can have more details in the sky. I brighten up the shadows, just like this, and then I increase the contrast by playing a little bit with whites and blacks. And I also use these little triangles to make sure that, you know, I don't lose any details in highlights and any details in shadows. And this is how it works. You see this little red spot in the sun? Let me zoom on that so you can see it better. So this little triangle on the right side of the histogram, if I switch it off, this red spot will turn into the white spot. This is actually how the image looks like. The white spot just tells me that I don't have any details there except the white color. You generally want to avoid that, but if you have a light source in the image, like we have sun, then it's okay to have some some part of the image that is completely burned out. However, you don't want to create something that is like this. This means that this part of the image is completely white with no details. You want to avoid that. So that's why I clicked on this little triangle on the right side of the histogram to make sure that I don't make a mistake like that. It's okay to have a little bit of that because, as I mentioned, we have sun in the image. Same thing with this triangle here. If I switch it off, these areas that were blue, right, they just turn black, and this is how the image looks like. So this triangle helps me fix the contrast in the image, but in a way not to lose the details in the shadow. If I bring blacks completely to the left, then I will have this situation where we have clipping in the shadows. We want to avoid that. So let's correct that. Okay, now when I'm happy with the result, I can turn off these triangles. And let's zoom out. So basically, this is how the image looks like after fixing it with raw develop filter. Let's see before and after. This is before and this is after. Okay, let's see what we did with saturation vibrance filter. So basically I added vibrance, I added a lot of it actually, and saturation, you know, as usual, it's kind of a dangerous filter, so you don't want to add too much of it because pay attention to the sky here. If you add too much of it, you just lose all the details. So I usually like to keep saturation close to 10, maybe 12. Let's see what this filter does. Microstructure. It added a lot of details in the sky and also in the water. Let's switch it off again. See the difference? So this filter actually adds local contrast, and you can also play with it. You can increase local contrast or add just a little bit of it. Here you have the softness. Play with it and see what it can do. To reset any of these effects, you just have to click twice on the name of the effect. See that? Double click and it's reset. Now, AI filter. This filter actually knows what's in the image. It knows if the image is a landscape or a face, and it will apply some adjustments that are good for the image of that type. Sometimes I like to push this filter completely to 100%. Sometimes I like to keep it lower. In this case, I think this is a good amount. And then I added one of the creative filters, which is sun rays. What I did first is I clicked this button, and that button helps me place the sun in the right position over our original sun. Then when I'm happy with the position, I have to click the button again to switch it off, and then I was able to play with that sun rays to make them stronger or, you know, more transparent, the number of sun rays, the length, the warmth. The radius of the disc, glow radius, glow amount, so several settings, right? And then, you know, all these filters that I used, I can make them all together less visible by just pushing this slider to the left, or I can make them more visible by pushing the slider to the right. And let's see before and after. It's a huge difference. So this is one of the images that I prepared for you. In the next video, I'm gonna show you more. I'm gonna show you how to use masks. I'm gonna show you how to use layers, because all of these filters are actually placed in one layer. Now I can add another layer, just like in Photoshop, and that layer can be another image on top of this one, or it can be an adjustment layer, just like in Photoshop. So let me load a new image and show you how I can edit that image in a couple of minutes. I'm not gonna save this. So the second image is this one. So again, you know, no details in the sky, no colors. The light is not very interesting. So let's see what we can do with this image. I'm gonna click Raw Develop Filter again. Click this just in case I need it. And then let's turn on our little triangles and bring highlights down. You see the details in the sky now. Let's brighten up the shadows. Add some more contrast. Okay, so the image already looks different, right? Let's add a little bit more of vibrance. Maybe just a little bit of saturation, like that. Look at before and after now. That's already a huge difference. Now let's add AI filter. Look at that. You know, you can kind of do all this in Photoshop, but you will need to know a lot of settings in Photoshop. In Luminar, it's so simple. So basically I'm kind of happy with this image. I don't want to edit it anymore. Before and after. And all this is done in just one layer. Now I want to show you something. You see this button that says Custom Workspace? Luminar has default workspaces. A workspace is actually a set of filters that people who created Luminar thought you might need if you edit certain types of photography. So you have professional workspace, you have quick and awesome workspace, essentials, aerial photography, and so on, landscape for example. If I click on any of these workspaces, they will be loaded into the list of filters. Let's undo that. So this is our original image. If you have a set of images that are similar to this one, you can save your own custom workspace. You just have to click here, save as a new workspace, give it a name, let's say beach photo shoot, and create a custom workspace. Now when you load that workspace, beach photo shoot, you will have the same filters that you used for the previous image, but they will be set to 0. So you will still have to, you know, adjust every image, but at least you have the list of filters that you used. You don't have to remember them. What's also fantastic about Luminar is that here you have the history of all the steps you've done. And you can always go back to the previous step. And what's really interesting is that when you save the file in Luminar native format, let's say I want to save this file, the extension is LMNR, the history will be saved with the file. So even if you turn off Luminar, the history will be saved here. You will always be able to go back to any of these steps, just like if you left your computer and Luminar on. So this is how in a couple of minutes you can turn a boring image into an awesome image using Luminar 2018. Now let me mention a couple of things that I think could be improved in the next version of Luminar. The first thing is recovering details from blown out areas in overexposed images. I feel that Lightroom is still doing a little bit better job than Luminar. Now, I have to be honest and say that I don't think this is a big deal because it's noticeable only in extreme cases. First of all, you need to learn your exposure. Don't create overexposed images. Anyway, if you have an image that is extremely overexposed, you're probably never going to use it. The second thing is noise reduction. Noise reduction in Luminar is pretty powerful. If you got used to noise reduction in Lightroom, this one will surprise you. Don't overuse it, otherwise you're gonna lose the details in the image. Maybe 20%, 25%, not more than that. I would like to see noise reduction improved in the next version of Luminar, where we can play a little bit more with those sliders. All in all, Luminar 2018 is a fantastic piece of software. You pay it once and you own it. It is something between Lightroom and Photoshop, and it will most likely cover all your photography needs. It can work as a standalone application, and it can be a plugin for Photoshop. Luminar has a lot of amazing filters that are at the same time very easy to use. Among those filters, there is a filter based on artificial intelligence. This is a new technology. This filter knows what's in the image and applies adjustments according to that. Now, if you want to try Luminar, you can click on the link that showed up on the screen now, or you can find the same link in the description of this video. That is my affiliate link. If you like the software and you decide to buy it, the same link will give you a discount. In the next few videos, I will be going more into detail with Luminar 2018. If you liked this video, if it helped you, press that like button, leave a comment, ask me a question, and see you soon.